mean, he's weird for that. We just turn that around. You didn't see it. Oh my goodness, now I'm thinking about it. Is she gonna catch feelings for him thinking it's her brother? Hey besties, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be another chit-chatty type of video, but in this video I'm going to be talking about all the books that I want to read through fall. Now obviously if you guys like the sound of any of these books, then feel free to add it to your TBR. I've got my hair in these two little bubbles because I'm going to be applying a temporary hair color to my hair because it's autumn. I was feeling to do something different. Let me address this quickly first. I've never did this before. This could be the biggest flop ever. I mean, if you're seeing this, then something probably worked out. I don't know, or maybe I just didn't want to refilm the video. I don't have any of the books with me because, as you know, I'm on a book buying ban. I can't buy any more books until I clear this cart. I don't know how much I'm going to stick to this anymore because this is really hard. The first book that's on my TBR is Hear My Heart by Tay Monet. It's on Kindle Unlimited, so this is how I'm planning on reading it. The cover of this book, it looks very autumn coded, so I'm very excited to read this. From what I know, she follows a girl who's deaf and like she's basically been neglected her whole childhood. They literally ignore her, and she's met somebody. She thinks this guy is amazing. They're about to get married. They're very serious, but then something tragic happens, and then she meets somebody else, and I think basically that's where everything gets turned upside down. Ooh, look at that. That's what this looks like. I'm like scared. It smells really good though. But anyway, basically, oh damn, this is really distracting. I don't even know. I forgot what my point was now. Next one on the list is What a Match. This one's by Mimi Grace. And while I was like looking it up, I realized that it's actually the second book in a series, but it does say that you can read it like as a standalone. So you know how I feel about those type of things. I tend to want to read books in orders. I'm weird like that. I might just jump ahead and try this as a one-off. This one follows a girl named Gwen. She's basically like over like pointless relationships and she's sick of dating. You know, the scenes are unserious. You know, these males are never serious in these streets. So she decides she wants professional help. So then she hits up a matchmaker for help and she's very serious on nothing's gonna distract her. She knows what boxes she needs these men to tick. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm having a hard time trying to like focus and do this, but I got the beloved, the most obvious one of all, and that's the Dream Harbor series with the pumpkin spice cafe and the cinnamon bun bookstore. Those are the two that are in that series that I want to read this fall. I have let me clean my hands off. Let me not ruin this library book. But I have the cinnamon bookstore, which I borrowed from my library because it's the second one in the series, but again I think it's another standalone, so you don't have to read them in order. But a lot of people say that the pumpkin spice cafe is a little bit cringe, but I don't know if I'm gonna mind it. Like, it's like if you read a Christmas book, like you expect it to be a little cringy, or if you watch a Christmas movie, books inspired by seasons tend to be a bit more cringy or a bit more Hallmark vibes is what it's called, I think. Anyway, this one follows Jenny, who basically inherits a small cafe in the small town area. It's giving Christmas Hallmark movie, but in fall, basically. It's a cozy, grumpy sunshine romance in a small town, so those are all the tropes that they hit. This one is definitely more blonde, but it doesn't matter. So I was just reading the back of this. Basically, this one seems to be like a scavenger hunt. Like, basically, a secret message turns up at her bookstore. She decides to get help from one of the locals. Basically, she decides to get help by this gorgeous outgoing fisherman. They're on this scavenger hunt trying to figure out what this message is for. I think it's an opposite attracts friends to lovers story. I was having to shop around for the books that have like, you know, the holographic leaves. I can't find them anywhere. Like, all I can find is like the basic edition where everything's like basically flat. And I want to find the ones that have like, you know, the little shimmer to it. I don't know whether it's worth buying them, but I just think they're really cute and I want them on the shelf. Now, if you go to the next one, If It Makes You Happy by Julia Olivia. This is another one again that looks very fall, gives you that fall aesthetic and that fall vibes. It's another one again that I've heard a lot of people talking about. Now, this one follows a girl and I don't know what her name is to the life of me, but she's basically very career driven. She wants to get a job in Seattle, but currently she's struggling to run her mom's inn. For whatever reason, she's running it. There's a new neighbor that moves in. He's very charming. He's very inescapable. Obviously, it's giving another like Christmas movie vibes. I'm guessing she's trying to like move to the big city to get a job, but then this new neighbor comes. He's charming. She likes him. Romantic tension starts to build. They're all very Hallmarky movies. I doubt I'm actually going to read all of these now that I'm kind of getting a feel for what they're about, because I feel like they're going to feel a bit too repetitive in a way. But I do have other books in this list, guys, that I want to read. That are just general books that I want to read, but I'm going to go through the fall ones first. If you're curious, this is what my hands look like. Anyway, to the next book is Fall I Want. I feel like this one's YA, but don't hold me to it. It might not be. Okay, I take that all the way back. This is not a YA. It literally says spicy small town, so this is not a YA story. My bad, guys. Let me read this now. Fall I Want is a feel-good, spicy small town romantic comedy with a billionaire. Honestly, romantic comedy gets me every time, so I'm already excited to read this. Who falls first and harder? Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, I have specific things that throw me off all the time. It's when they fall first and fall harder. Romantic comedy is another one. Yeah, This one's gonna actually get bumped up on the list because I want all of those things. It's a billionaire romance trope as well, so if you love that, I can tell you right now, this one's getting bumped up on the list because of those two things. Him falling harder, but spicy romance too. I love a spicy romance. And obviously, I forgot what the other one was. I completely forgot what the other romantic comedy. Yeah. Give me a break. There's a lot happening right now. It's very hard. I'm surprised I'm even getting sentences out in this video. And we have a really obvious one that everyone has been talking about, and it's Han Bone Young's book, People Watching. I have never read a Han Bone Young book. I seen them in the bookstore in Works when they were like really discounted, and I remember thinking, oh, I don't know if I want to pick that up. And then out of nowhere, everyone was like gassing Han Bone Young's book and Out on the Limb and all this stuff. And then that's when I realized, oh yeah, okay, I'm still very new to picking books because I can't decide whether a book is a good book. Like the first time I ever picked a book by myself, like just looking in a bookstore, I basically never read a book again for 10 years and that book is still not completed. So I'm still very new to picking good books and I still rely on other people's views. I've literally, the library is the only place now where I'm like trying to be a bit different. And I've actually got a book that I want to read for this season that I picked by myself. Like a big girl. So Han Bone Young, I actually seen this in the store and I managed to walk away and not buy it because I'm on a book buying ban. But I keep hearing mixed reviews on this one. People are like, it's not that good. And it follows a girl who's looking after her mum who has Alzheimer's. She meets this guy named Milo, and I think they decided to have like a casual arrangement. So I'm guessing she's got a lot on her plate, so she just wants something casual. But it's very spicy. Again, with the autumn vibes. That's all I know. I don't really want to go into all these books knowing too much, but I am trying to like know a little bit, because obviously just in case you guys want to add any of these to your TBR, I'm just giving you guys like an idea of what you're going to be stepping into. If I say a title of a book and you know you don't want to know anything about it, then skip, because I do that a lot. When I hear people talking about like Fearless or Feel Full, I just skip the whole thing. We have 3 more books that have the full vibe that are on this list. I don't know if I'm even really going to be able to read all of these books. I still have to clear this cart, so that's not gonna happen if I'm reading a bunch of books that are not even on the cart. The next one on my TBR is called The Wrong Kind of Falling. Now this book, I think, follows a Christian girl or a Christian couple, or it has that religious aspect to it. I don't know how extreme it is. Like I don't know if it's like they're just going to church and interacting, or whether like they're going to be talking about God a lot. I have no idea. I haven't read it yet, but like I haven't read anything that's just like cutesy Christian girl romance, so I'm imagining this is what this one's about. Okay, I just read a little bit of it, and basically it follows a very ambitious girl named Romley, and she basically has a dog grooming company. He has no money because he's doing something his family doesn't want him to do, so I think he applies to work for her company. He's got very much bad boy vibes and she's very much of a good girl, and I think they're gonna like, you know, yeah, that's basically how they get into each other's space. Also a book 2 in a series, another one that is a standalone. So the next one on the list is Unbearably Yours, and this follows 2 people. I think their name's Charlie and Oliver, but they are estranged former lovers, so they broke up. They both basically get forced into working with each other. They're both going to work on this documentary in this woodsy environment. I'm getting a call. Okay, so now we're kind of gonna go into that, like, I want to say fantasy, magical, dystopian-esque vibes. I think if I'm right. The Spell Shop. This book looks so pretty. Like, it looks so magical, the front cover does. And I know you shouldn't pick a book by its cover, but most of these books I'm choosing is based purely because of the cover. This is another one that I didn't know very much about either. This one looks more blonde than the rest. Okay, I don't know. I'm twisting these all in different directions, so I don't know how good that's gonna look. This is a romantasy and it's a debut. I'm happy that it's a romantasy. I'm definitely back in the romantasy bag now that we're in fall. I have a girl, I think her name is Keela. Basically, Keela, she's helping to run this very prestigious spell library. She basically preserves all the books for all the elites in the society. The library ends up burning down and she decides she's gonna open a spell shop with all the spells that she knows. She has this really annoying neighbor that keeps turning up to the shop and you can't seem to take a hint, basically. I don't know much more than that. I don't want to know anything else. I think there's like illegal magic or something like that going on in the book. It's just giving very nice, cozy romantasy. It's giving very much low stakes. And this is where we step away from the books that give me full vibes and just the books that I want to read. And the first one is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. I've never read an R.F. Kuang book before. Like, Yellowface is definitely up there on the list, and I'm waiting for that from the library because, again, I can't buy any books. It's dark academia and it follows 2 academic rivals. Their professor dies and he ends up going to hell. Now they need to go to hell to get their recommendation letter off him. It's not okay. I don't even know what to expect with this book, but basically they have to put aside their like rivalry to go down to hell to bring back the professor's soul. So that's what I know about that book. I've heard so much things. The cover looks amazing. This is another one I ran into in the shops again and was eyeing up for the longest. Like the library's never gonna have this book available. Let's be real. I've been waiting on the yellow face for like 12 weeks now. I just feel like at this point I'm gonna have to buy some of these books. I also have Legendborn. I really want to get into Legendborn. This is a YA high fantasy as well. I'm craving a high fantasy book. I'm also craving a romance book. I'm just craving fantasy altogether right now. This is another one that I've just heard so much high praise about that I've just added it on my TBR without knowing much about like the storyline. Let's read the blurb together now. It says, after her mother dies of accident, 16-year-old Bree Matthews wants nothing to do with her family memories or childhood at home. A residential program for bright high schoolers at UNC Chapel Hill seems to be the perfect escape until Bree witnesses a magical attack her very first night on the campus. Something happens that leaves her questioning her whole life history, and she decides to join this group called Legendborns, where I think they go to find the truth or some girl, I don't even know fully. All I know is this book looks very good. Everyone says it invokes all the emotions, and I'm just very excited to read it. Enough people have said enough good things about it, so it's just on the list now. And then obviously guys, oh, my fingers are just too messy for the next book. I literally washed my hands now so I can get the next book. Fearless. Okay, so these are the next books that I will 100% be reading this fall. We have Fearless, and obviously I got the novella Fearful. Look how cute they are. I haven't actually done like an official, I'm scared to put this anywhere now. I haven't done like an official unboxing. I tend to do like a little shorts video where I show like, you know, the sleeve for this. Oh, look how pretty. Oh my gosh, okay guys, I had to wash my hands for this. This is why I had to wash my hands. Look at how beautiful. Oh, I love this so much. Now, I don't know what this says. Well, okay, that's a lie. I read it the first time and then I was trying to think what it meant, and I thought, why the hell are you doing that? You're trying to read the story for yourself. So yeah, I haven't read it back again since. But this novella is so cute. Oh, did I even show you guys the dust jacket? It looks like it's about a different person actually, so I probably could read that quote. I'm tempted to just buy all these books in hardbacks just because they look so pretty. I think the reason why I slipped up and bought these in hardbacks is because they're pink, and I'm a sucker for pink. So anyway, I can't really tell you much about what these books are about because it's the last books in the series, but I can tell you that Powerless, if you don't already know, I feel like a lot of people know, follows Payden and Kai. And obviously Payden is an ordinary who lives in a society full of elites, and all these elites have abilities. Some of them can wield fire, some of them can are invisible, read minds, so on and so on. If people find out you're an ordinary, you get killed, and the person that actually kills you is Kai. Kai is the second in line for the throne, but he's actually got the job as an executor, so he actually kills people who are ordinaries. Payden somehow gets caught up in these trials that are made for the elites, and obviously she has no power or no like ability or anything like that. So yeah, good luck to her doing that trial, and that's all I can tell you basically. And you follow that whole storyline. I love that book down. It is my favorite fantasy romantasy series. The next book that I really want to read is Divine Rivals. This was one that was really popular in, oh, I don't even know what year. I started reading last year, so I never got to, because when the second book came out, everyone was kind of like, oh, it was average and they didn't really like it. So I decided not to break my neck and trying to get into it at that point. But since then, I still keep hearing really good stuff about that book. It follows two people that I think they're like work rivals basically, and there's a war happening right now. So there's two gods, they're having a war. The main female brother gets sent off to fight in the war. She decides to write letters to her brothers basically saying how much she misses him and stuff, but the letters don't go to her brother, it goes to this guy. I think it's her work rival. He doesn't actually say that, oh, it's not your brother by the way, or even says it's me. He just continues responding to her anyway, which is so weird. I don't even understand how that makes any sense at all. You're weird, bro. In my opinion, he's weird for that. Like, why are you having a full conversation with this girl and pretending, I don't know if he's like pretending to be her brother or whether he's just not telling her that, you know, who he is, which both of them are weird in my opinion. It's weird because he knows exactly who she is. They're obviously work rivals, so he's literally working with this girl and messaging her and not saying, oh, by the way, it's me from work. Like, I think that's really weird in my opinion. But anyway, somehow it becomes this cutesy story, I don't know. And oh my goodness, now I'm thinking about it. Is she gonna catch feelings for him thinking it's her brother? I don't even understand how this story even works. I've just heard a lot of good stuff about it. I'm still very interested to read it. In fact, let me get a little bit more info so I can give you guys some actual useful information, not just my weird speculations. It's not actually that heavy in fantasy. I think the only thing that's like magical is the fact that she has this typewriter that she's writing to him. So she's writing to him on a magical typewriter. It's not like posting letters or anything like that. And also the fact that there's two gods fighting is the only thing that's giving romantasy. Oh my god, did the wasp just get in the house? Oh my goodness. Okay, so hey guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. A wasp came into the room and I just said, you know what, you win, and gave up because it would not leave. And I did the rest of the hair. I just watched the last clip to see where we left off. I was talking about Divine Rivals. The next fantasy-esque type book I want to read is The Night Circus. Now what's crazy, guys, is the first time that I was trying to look for a book to read, I used ChatGPT to be like, oh, these are all the books that I liked reading back in the past. Which books do you recommend? And they literally recommended me Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and it recommended The Night Circus. And I was gonna go with The Night Circus, but I was like, I think it's too like heavy of a story for somebody that's trying to get back into reading. Oh, that looks like that actually, maybe this might, I don't want to jinx it. That one didn't work. That one's horrific. But yeah, all I know is a magic circus. It only appears at nighttime and then disappears through the day. And there's two magicians that go head to head, and that's all I know. I don't actually think I want to know anymore. It's very atmospheric, the storytelling, and detailed, I believe. I think that's why I was scared to pick up the first time when I was just getting into reading, because I wasn't sure if I was ready for something like that. But the next book I actually want to get into is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I've literally only read one book by Ali Hazelwood. I have all these books from Ali Hazelwood that I need to read, but I don't have Bride. And she also has a new one coming out as well called Mate. She normally writes contemporary romance, but that's like her first, I think it's her first fantasy or one of her fantasies. This book follows, what's her name? Misery Law, who is like a werewolf princess that has to get into a political marriage basically with a werewolf to basically unite the two, because you know werewolves and vampires are always fighting. So obviously it's a political marriage to try and squash their beef. It sounds good to me, but all I keep hearing everyone talk about every page is the crazy werewolf and vampire scene. I know I want to read it again because it's another book that is very hype. I don't know why people have like such negative connotations against hyped books. Like you only have so much time to read, so many books you can get through. Like it's natural to want to read the one that someone's already said is good. Like that just makes sense, because you might read a book that you don't like, and obviously it's nice to fit in a book here and there that you've never heard about. But if you don't have much time to read, you're naturally gonna let other people advise you on what book to read, because if someone has more time to read, then they can get through more books and tell you which ones they thought was good, and then you can then use that knowledge to pick your next book. And the first book that I will, in fact I'm gonna already start this one, and it's Honey and Spice. This has been on the list for so long, and what I know, this follows Kiki and Malachi, and basically Kiki has a radio station and she like gives advice to the girlies, and she's like, hey, don't let these men then play you. And then the new guy, Malachi, moves into the university. All the girls are falling to their feet for him. She basically thinks he's a gallus, he's a waste man, and basically they get forced to work with each other. So you have a little bit of academic rival. I don't know if it's academic rivals, to be honest, because there is a slight rivalry, but yeah, that's all I can say about it. This is one that I definitely want to read and one that I will be reading. This book also has a little bit of romantic comedy. It has the fake dating trope as well. You know, fake dating is one of my elite favorite tropes ever. So there's like another bug in here. I gotta close these windows, but yeah, elite trope for me, fake dating. Oh, I'm looking in the little monitor. The color on this is so nice. I love it. I did a braid out because I wanted there to be more length, but it's really still gone up to here. The next one that I actually want to read is Beautiful Broken Love. I seen this on Kindle Prime, and then I seen a couple people that I follow review it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I really want to read it. But I'm not gonna lie, this is one that I'm terrified to read because I know it has grief in it. The only part that probably makes it a little bit easier is that the grief has already happened, so you're not losing somebody that you've just grew attached to in the book. She basically, her husband, her soulmate, her love of her life has passed away, and then now she's being left to like pick up the pieces. So while she's picking up all these pieces, she decides she's gonna throw herself into her business. He's an NFL player, and she basically gets him to sponsor or promote her brand. That's all we know so far. I don't know how I'm feeling about this takedown, but I'm just gonna keep going. All right, so the next one that I actually want to read is Real by Kennedy Ryan. Now I'm gonna actually read the blurb on this one because I just know it has something to do with a girl who's on Broadway and then becomes a Hollywood star, but I don't know much about it. One moment I'm in the spotlight, but months I stand by and understudy, waiting for the wings, preparing for my time to shine. I've never imagined he would watch in the audience that night. Famous film director, fascinating, talented, fine. Before I could catch my breath, everything changed. I went from backstage Broadway to center stage Hollywood. From being unknown to my name, Neva Saint, on everyone's lips. So it's some Hollywood, Broadway vibes. It's giving me, I don't know if this is for sure, but it's making me think about Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, like that kind of old Hollywood vibes. I also want to read Hail Mary. This follows, oh, that book is flying again. Basically, it follows this guy, I think it's a guy called Ryland Grace. He ends up on a spaceship. He wakes up on a spaceship with amnesia. All of his crewmates are dead. He has a bunch of science missions that he has to solve to save humanity. And obviously, it sounds very like scientific and people might be turned off by that, but all I've heard nothing but good about this book, so I'm not even worried. Like, it's gonna be one of my first sci-fi books. Honestly, that's probably at the top of the list because I really do want to get into my sci-fi bag now. So this video was so chaotic. I'm so sorry. I can tell you right now, the Lexi Rock not set. Next book that I actually want to read is one that I picked up from the library myself, like the big girl I am, called The Other Black Girl. I just seen this and I was like, oh, this sounds juicy. Nella is tired of being the only black employee in the office, but when Hazel starts working in the next cubicle over, strange things start to happen, beginning with the anonymous threatening notes on Nella's desk. As Nella starts to spiral and obsess over the sinister force at play, she soon realizes that there is a lot more at stake than her career. Juicy! I read the back of that and it sounded so good, so I was like, yeah, okay, we're gonna pick that one up. I also want to read a book that thankfully is actually on the TBR cart, because I don't know if you realize, but none of the books that I said I wanted to read have been on this cart. I've talked about The Silent Patient a lot on my channel, but if just in case you're new, it basically follows a woman who shot her husband 5 times and then just went silent, and then the whole book is trying to figure out like why hasn't she spoken and what the hell happened in it. If I'm really honest, Six of Crows was also one that I really wanted to get into and read, but somebody commented in my comment saying you should read Shadow of Bone first, which is the series before that, and I had a little look around to see whether or not it was worth it, and a lot of people were saying the magic system is explained a lot better in the Shadow and Bone than it is in here, and if you read this you might be confused. I do believe that I can jump into this and be fine, but I want to read Shadow of Bone first. Oh, don't look at these guys, don't look at these. I'll explain that in the TBR jar video. Let's just turn that around. You didn't see anything. But yeah guys, that is all the books that I want to read in fall. Let me know if you're adding any of these on your TBR. If there's any that you read already that you love and I should definitely push up on the list. If you got to the end of this video, then comment this emoji at the end, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it wasn't too chaotic. I'm actually going to go edit this, and if it's too chaotic then I'm just going to start again. I'm just realizing there's a lot of paint on this. This was like an old shirt that I threw on.
Step out, get some air now, let your edge out.